Hi guys, how's it going? Webhub Sisinti here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how you can scrape URLs from Sales Navigator and convert them into a regular LinkedIn URL. Yes, Sales Navigator URLs are different and regular LinkedIn URLs are different. A Sales Navigator URL cannot be opened using a free account and can only be opened if you have Sales Navigator a premium option on your account, right? How can we convert them? And once we convert them, how can we use those URLs to get more data, like a lot of more information by scraping their LinkedIn profiles, finding their emails, and also connecting with them on the go. And all of this data comes on a single Excel CSV sheet online, all automatic. That is every, like that is let's just let me just give you this example, right? Let's say every 1 hour your automation will run to find 10 URLs based on the search. Out of these 307 results that we see here, it will find 10 URLs every 1 hour, and once that URL results are fetched, automatically it will start sending email it will start sending invites to those 10 people automatically without you setting up anything, right? And also will find emails of those people on the go, and with emails it will find a lot more information. Now once we have these email IDs, in the other videos I'll be showing you how you can automate sending an email to them as well, all automatic without you doing anything, right? For this to happen, we have to get all the data populated on a CSV sheet. So this video is going to be a little more complicated than rest of them, because this is going to be the first video where I'll be talking about a sequence, right? First, you are basically manually feeding the URLs or Sales Navigator URLs like this, and I showed you in the last video how to do this, and you input this as an input for Sales Navigator search export. This is slightly different to what we have seen, that is the regular search export, and this will basically convert the URLs, and once it does, the same data will be fed to LinkedIn Network Booster, which will send invitations and scale and also get us the email IDs of those people, right? This is the part of this video. In the next video I'll be teaching you how you can send emails on the go, all automated, right? So don't get panicked. This is a CSV that we input. These are the search URLs that I pasted from the last video, right? So once I do the automation, this is the data that we'll get from LinkedIn Sales Navigator search export. Did I copy paste this? No, it is done using an import function. You can see there's an import function here which basically has done it, and once we have that data, we'll be using this data, that is SN output, as an input for Network Booster, and which will basically give us huge amount of data about that specific user, right? And this data will actually be plugged into a email client which will send emails automatically in scale, right? So I'll basically teach you how to do this, and let me show you how to do that, right? So first you have this URL. We have copied a couple of search URLs by searching on Sales Navigator. I've showed you in the last video. I have a couple of them as an example. Now very important thing that you do is click on share button, click on advanced, and make this, click on change, and anyone with the link should be able to a minimum of view it, right? I click on save because this has to be only viewed, right? And once I do that, in fact what I would suggest you is, if you're not sharing this link with anyone with this view, anyone with this link should be able to edit, because we need writing options to this file too. Once we have this, copy this URL, go to LinkedIn Sales Navigator search export. This is different than a regular the regular search export, right? Once you find this API, you can see that you can find a lot of information, that is URL of the specific user, that is the LinkedIn Sales Navigator URL. Just to show you an example, if I open this profile, you see it is linkedin.com/sales/people. So this looks very different to how it looks like how it looks in a regular profile. Let me just show you the example. I'll copy this. I'll go to linkedin.com. All right, let me search for Brandon Steiner. I found him. There you go. You see how profile is different. You see linkedin.com/in/Brandon Steiner, but here it says /people/key, which cannot be decoded, right? So that's why it's important to convert these URLs into these URLs so that you can send invitations without a LinkedIn sales navigator account, because as I suggested, you can scrape all this data in 1 month. That is, you can scrape to up to like probably 15,000 leads in 1 month. But and later you might not want to use sales navigator anymore, so that in the first 30 months you can use the first free trial to get all the data you want. And post that, if you don't have a sales navigator account, it's not a problem, because we have already converted them into regular URLs. And this basically can do that. That is, first it will get you the sales navigator URL, and then the current job, first name, last name, company title, duration, location, quite a lot of information, to be very frank. This is not the kind of information that you can get using a regular sales search export. And then a profile URL. It basically converts each of these URLs, so it takes time, right? Again, coming to the limits, guys, I would limit you guys not to do more than like 1,000 a day, and break it up into 10 different time, that is 10 per hour, and use like 10 different hours by giving breaks, so that it's not continuous. Don't go crazy, like do a maximum of 1,000 a day using one profile, sorry, 100 per hour, not more than that, right? Even that is too much if you ask me, but I've tried this with these numbers, and yes, it works. But again, right, if you want to cut it down, like let's say you have 15,000 strong leads. If you want 15,000 strong leads, all you need is 30 days. That is, all you need is 500 per day. 500 per day could be broken into 50 into 10. That is, it will run 10 times and it will scrape for 50 URLs, right? And I've showed you in the last videos how to do this, how to set this reputation, right? All right, so once you click on use this API, this opens up. As you see, I've already done this, but the reason why I've done this is because it takes a while to run all this. It takes a good 15 minutes, because it's also scraping for the LinkedIn regular LinkedIn URL. So it runs for about 5 minutes for every 10 accounts. So simple, there's no rocket science here. Tap on this, you'll get the session cookie automatically. Now for LinkedIn search terms, what you basically copy is this URL and paste it here. All right, number of profiles to scrape, I've put it to 5. You can say 50 here. All right, number of lines per spreadsheet, you can just keep it empty. And then you can see extract default LinkedIn profile URLs. That is, I want to convert LinkedIn Sales Navigator URLs into profile URLs. So I check this in and I remove duplicates and click on save and hit on launch. Once I do that, it will convert and get me this data, right? The other quick setting on how to repeat this is, let's say I want to repeat this 10 times a day. I'll go to settings here, and then I'll click on repetitively, and I would say, let's say, so if you want to be very specific, you can do it with repetitive advanced. Let's say I want to run 8 times a day, right? You can do that here. 8 into 5 is 400. You are able to scrape, and since I put that as 50 there, I should be able to run this for 8 into 5, 400. I should be able to get data of 400 profiles a day. But let's say you want exactly to be specific here with repetitive advanced. You can say the minutes that you want to run it, the hours that you want to run it, the days that you want to run it, weeks, and the month. So you can go super granular on the number of times that you want to run this. You can like be super calculative about this, but for this example, I would just say 8 times a day. All right, just for an example, and click on save. This will just work, right? Again, just to make sure that just to make sure that I'm not using it, this is just for demonstration purposes. I would keep it to manual because I don't want this to run. And now you get an idea, right? So once everything is done, you can click on launch, and all these settings would run, and you will get a list of data. You see that is result.csv, and I've got 10 profiles because I ran it only for 10 accounts. But you can run it to up to 50, and I would suggest you not to go beyond 50 to 100 max. Now what we do here is, instead of downloading CSV, download the CSV in like the last of the tutorials. I'll copy link, right? And I'll show you how I actually got this data here. It's the same data that I got here. It's basically create a new tab. I've already done it, but I'm just showing you for demonstration purposes. Is equal to import data. I mean, someone who understands Excel would know what this does. It basically fetches all the data from a URL. So import data in braces, I've copied and pasted the link here. All I have to do is hit enter, and boom, all the data is here. So next time when it is running again, but because of the repetition, let's say we have 10 now, next time when it's running again, automatically the rest of the data will get populated without you have to do anything, right? So that is how I got this data here. as you can see, once this data is done, now you can see, I mean, I'll just delete this sheet because it's just a repetition. All right, so this is the data that we got from this API, that is Sales Navigator Search Export, right? And now the O column of this has all the LinkedIn URLs, the regular LinkedIn URLs. It has a lot of data, but we won't be using this data because I'll tell you why. Because in the Network Booster, we'll be scraping for more information of the specific user. All right, so all you have to know is it's in column O, that is these URLs. All we need is these URLs to send an invitation to the users, right? So for that, I'll quickly jump into LinkedIn Network Booster. We have used this before. We've used this API before. As you know, it can scrape for emails as well, right? So what I'll do is, again, API configuration, get cookie from LinkedIn. Again, when you have to paste this URL, this time you're pasting this, which is input for Network Booster, right? The one you're basically pasting the data of the output of LinkedIn Sales Navigator Search Export, right? Which is acting as an input for Network Booster, right? You copy this and you paste this here. Once it is done, it will asking for column name on where to get the profile URLs. Let's go and see. Okay, this is the regular LinkedIn profile URLs. The column name is O, so we just copy this and paste it, which is default profile URL. So it will automatically look saying, hey, which column name is profile URL? Okay, this is the profile URL, so this is the column where it has to find URLs. Again, number of invites per launch, this is always capped to max of 10. So as you know, one launch can do a maximum of 10, so you can put as 10. But what you can do is, here you can repeat, since you can actually calculate it in a way. Let's say for 10 hours you're doing 50 invitations. That basically means when you're setting up the repetition settings for this one, you have to repeat it 5 times every hour. I'll also show you how to do that, right? Now email discovery, I would say Phantom Buster, or whichever you want here. For this example, I'll just say Phantom Buster. You have your message here, and I would leave it unchecked. So once this is done and I click on save, I go to repetition settings now, because now the other the other one is running for, let's say, 10 times. Okay, let me just set that up so that it makes more sense. All right, so let's say in the settings, this is the LinkedIn Sales Navigator Search Export, and I'm repetitive going advanced. I'll go based on hours. I would keep minutes as 00, and let's say I want it to run at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? It's running for 10 hours continuously. Again, you can position this on your working hours or something like that, so that it looks legit, and you should keep changing this. Select days, I would say every day. Select days of the week, every day of the week, every month. So ideally, every day it will run at 10 a.m. to 20th p.m. right? It will run for these specific 10 hours, that is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. You can absolutely choose whatever you want, but I know for a fact it is running for these hours. So what I would basically do is I would go manually repetitive, right? And in select minutes, instead of since this will be a quick one, right? Like instead of going say it will be scraping 10, so I will have to run this 5 times every hour, right? So that is 5, 6, I would say 17, 34 and 50, right? Just I've selected 5 different hours so that it can run 5 times every hour. And I would say again the same hours, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, every day of the week, every month. So what this basically is doing is, since this is capped at 10 invitations max per launch, I'm basically repeating number of times it will run in an hour to be 5 times, so that this this API, when it fetches 50 new profiles on an hourly basis, this is automatically sending invitations to those 50 automatically, right? Now that this is sorted, you click on save and basically hit the launch. That's more about it. I'm going to make this manual for this example because I don't want this to be the case, but you understand. Once you do this, what is happening is this will basically send invitations 5 times every hour. Now that we have the data, I've already ran this once. Now we want data. If you want to see how the data looks like, control right click, copy link, and now network booster output. I've used the same thing again, which is import data, and you'll see all the data would pop in. There you go. That's the data we're talking about. I have the same data here. Here you can see you have the profile URL, you have the description of the person, image URL, that is the headshot of that specific person. We have it saved. There you go. We have the headshot of that person, first name, last name, the level of connection. Again, this is pretty kick-ass if you check this out. Sorry, again, the image, you have company URL, job title, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you have a job description, location, you have almost every level of data that you want of this person, including the emails. So if you quickly jump here, you can see that. All right, you can see that mail from Drop Connect. Out of 10 accounts, I have 7 emails of these people. So I've found their emails, right? I've also found their Twitter. You can see this. I've also found Twitter handles of 9 people. How awesome is that? You can also auto follow them on Twitter because you have their data, right? You have this emails. Now you can use this emails as an input and use this data to send emails. Well, that is a part of the next video. I'll be talking about it in the next section, but that's more about it. Guys, this is more about the whole process where we found the URLs, converted them into a regular URL, use this data to input into the network booster, which sent invitations automatically and also scraped exciting amount of data, including their email IDs, right? The invitations have been sent with a custom message, and we have their emails. And in the next video, we'll be basically jacking this data into an email client automatically to send emails automatically using that. Every time there's a new email in this specific set of sheet, it will automatically send out a sequence of emails. Well, that's the next part of the video. See you in the other one. Again, if you're not clear about it, watch this video 500 times, get in touch with me. Absolutely, I'll be able to help you out with whatever you want. Again, guys, that's more about this video. See you on the other side.